everybody, and welcome to Dryer Days Art Studio. I'm Catherine. Thank you so much for being here. Well, I'm going to be doing another FreeForm geode today, but this one is going to be 3D. This is a freestanding piece that I created. I got the inspiration when I made my last FreeForm geode in that challenge by the Frugal Resinista. So let's get right into this video. There will be a bunch of bonus content for my patrons that are in that $5 tier and up. There will also be a little bit of bonus content over on my Patreon for everyone to view, so you don't have to be a patron to view a clip that I am going to post over there. I'll get into that in more detail later in the video. But just coming in with my parchment paper to start, making it nice and taut on this MDF board. I like to do this on an MDF board because then I can move the piece around. I knew I had to start this on my dining room table and I would be moving things to my studio, so I needed a nice sturdy board to do that on, and this was perfect. As with my first FreeForm geode, I'm using a ruler to gauge where I want to put the piece down, how big I want the piece. I recommend doing this just so you know where you're going with the silicone. It gives you a nice line to just trace out with your silicone caulk as you're coming around. And with my first piece that I had done, I wanted it really symmetrical. This one, not so much. I wanted it to look more natural, earthy, given I was going to have the back finished in that kind of rocky look. So as you can see here, I'm kind of redrawing my line. These lines will show up on the back of your resin, but I wasn't worried about that since I knew I was going to be finishing the back of this piece. And just using that nice silicone caulk to come around and make my outline of this FreeForm geode. I will do 3 layers of that silicone, and after each layer I will come in with my little popsicle stick here and kind of lightly smush down that silicone into the parchment paper to make a nice seal between the silicone and the parchment paper, because we don't want any of that resin seeping out underneath. And I will follow this technique with the following layers. I'm just going to show one more layer here so I don't bore you guys to tears, but I do 3. I wanted this to be a nice deep mold. I wanted a larger, thicker piece for my FreeForm. I had done 3 layers as well with my first FreeForm geode, and I liked the thickness of that, so I wanted to repeat that here. And this, we are going to be getting really crafty with this piece using a recycled water jug here. I've mentioned this before in some of my videos, but I do use 2 different devices to record my videos, and sometimes I have to use a certain camera that I'm not really fond of, but sometimes I have to use it depending on what I'm working on. And given that I mentioned I was moving around a lot with this piece from room to room, I had to use a certain camera, and the portion where I'm laying in the resin, unfortunately, is not the best quality. I did record part of it on my iPad, which came out really well, and that will be over on the Patreon page for everyone. You don't have to be a patron to view that, so I will link that in the description where you can find my Patreon page and see the first video clip of me laying in my first layer of resin for this piece. I am using Stone Coat Quick Coat. I knew I wanted to get the resin done in one day. This was a very prolonged piece, as I'm sure you can imagine. There were a lot of steps to this, and I wanted to get the resin done in one day, so the Quick Coat was the best option for me. If you haven't tried Stone Coat or you need to get some more, check out my video description, as I have a coupon code that you can use for $10 off. And anything that you click on in my video descriptions and buy helps to support my channel. So thank you so much for doing that. It helps me to be able to keep creating videos and making art for you all, which I love to do. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. So yeah, this is just my process of laying in that resin, and I am laying down some mirrored glass here that I got at Michael's. I also am coming in along that inner edge right there and using black fireglass. I've never used fireglass before. I can link in the description where I got it. I got like 2 pounds of this stuff for like $6. It was awesome. I also am using pigments by Resin Expressions, as well as artisan pigments, and I'm going to be using glitter and some larger stones from Just For You Online UK. This piece was a lot of fun to make. It was a lot of work, but I'm really happy with how it came out. This was a giant experiment for me. While my resin was curing up, I decided to paint my crafty portion of this piece, my base, or the back if you will. And I knew I wanted the inside to be dark black. I was going to be using that fire glass, and I'm also using a black holographic glitter from Just For You Online UK, as well as some black agate stones from them. So yeah, now that's setting aside and that's drying, so I come in and draw a few Uniposca lines on this piece while it is still in the mold. If you need any products or tools and you like the ones I'm using in this video, please check out the video description for links to where you can find everything. You can also check out my Amazon store. There's a link in there. And again, it just helps to support me, so thank you so much if you can do that. Just doing a few finishing touches here. I did come in and do a final clear coat with that quick coat again. And as this is curing, I do add a few more stones. I wanted a little bit more texture on the surface of this. I didn't want it to be a completely flat glass surface. I may even come in again since I've done some adjustments and add another coat, but we'll see. Now with this base part, I knew the stone coat quick coat would be my best option. I am using Midnight Black epoxy paste from Lorez Expressions. You can find a link to where you can find that good stuff in the description. And I'm also using the black holographic glitter from Just For You Online UK in here. And so I'm just getting a nice coating on just one side, moving it all around with my gloved hand. And then I will take the black fire glass and drizzle it in there. And the nice thing about the quick coat is it, firms up in about 15 minutes. So I sit here, I baby it for a little bit, make sure those stones are staying where I want them. And before I know it, one side is done. I will continue and do this on two other sides of this piece. And in the bottom base section is where I do add those black larger stones that I got from Just For You Online UK. You can find a link again to Just For You Online UK in the description with a coupon code, and also one for Laura's Art Corner. And Laura is who I get all of my Lorez products from. I love their pastes and their pigments by Lorez, so definitely check that out. All the products that I use I feel very passionate about and I enjoy using them, and so anything you find linked in the description is stuff that I do use. And just the demolding here, which is always so much fun. I'm adding more detailing, adding more stones. I do have the back now attached. I really like to do the detailing work. I could sit here and do this for hours and just glue stones and glitter onto my pieces. It just relaxes me. I don't know, I really enjoy it. I wanted to make this piece more of like an amethyst look, which I think I achieved pretty well. There's a lot of holographic glitter going on in there, which maybe took away from that purple violet hue of pure amethyst, but and I do believe that the attention to detail is what makes these pieces stand out and what makes you different from other artists and just makes it look more professional and polished. And here I'm finishing the base and the back, so Coming around with some gilding silver paint that I got at Michael's to finish that edge off. Again, you want to make it look finished and polished. And here it is in the natural light of a room in my house. It's so sparkly and shiny that my camera keeps trying to focus in and out, so I apologize for that. I'm trying to show the inside here so you can see those stones. It'll focus in a second. I did add some more gems and jewels around the side of that opening that I may come in with the holographic glitter and finish off. As I mentioned, I don't know if this piece is 100% done, but it was a major experiment. As you can see the edge there that I took a lot of time finishing, it just looks really polished. I used more of that silver gilding in there around that edge. I'm going to turn it here so you can see the back. And now it looks like this textured rocky back. There was definitely a learning curve. I'm going to change a few things for next time, but I think this turned out pretty cool. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Come check me out on Instagram at Drier Days. And until next time, everybody, keep on pouring.